when you start working out, right?
Yeah.
Let's say 90% of the battle is actually physically getting there. You start training your body to get up and go or work these muscles, and all of a sudden your body can do things you didn't know it can do.
Yep.
And your entrepreneurship is the same way.
Yeah.
You push yourself, you do it, and you're like, whoa, I can do this. And then you find the time and you find the way and you find the strategy, and then it all comes together.
This is the Late Night Startup Show, where we sit down with local entrepreneurs, startups, and business owners to dive into their entrepreneurship journey, telling their stories to provide content for them and value to the aspiring. On this episode of the Late Night Startup Show, we are speaking with Sumhr Giboni of the PollyAnnCollection. She started her business in 2005, creating custom wood scrapbooks, and then moved to Atlanta in 2011, started a family, kind of took some time off from PollyAnnCollection, but brought it back in the form of Etsy shops in 2017, and she's doing great work. Now she's making custom wood signs for businesses, for birthday parties, bachelorette parties, things like that. She gave us these coasters, these wood ATL coasters, which are phenomenal. I mean, of course, I'm going to have them around the office. Got to support ATL, right? And she's just doing great work, and she's passionate about it. But what's really incredible is how she's managing her time, delegating her time, how she's staying disciplined. I mean, she's a mom. She's cooking for her husband and the 2 kids. She's got another kid on the way. Her kids are 3 and 4 right now, about to have a newborn. I mean, just imagine the time that takes. On top of that, she's been with her full-time company for 14 plus years. Full-time at a company for 14 plus years, managing our entire family and managing a side hustle. It's just a great conversation. I think a lot of new entrepreneurs can relate to where she is and also relate to how she's building her business that she's doing out of her shop on Etsy. Great conversation. Before we get into it, we need to thank our sponsors, RCR Video Marketing Group. RCR Video, Ray and I, we own that company. We've been doing video production for 10 plus years. Been doing it in Atlanta, so we love the Atlanta scene. And one of the reasons we started this podcast is because we want to help businesses grow. And the way that we do that is by providing our video expertise. So if you need video production, feel free to have a conversation with us. We love to come sit down and just have a brainstorming session if you need it. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to hire us. You can implement video for yourself, by yourself as well, and we're willing to help you do that. And if you need video, you want to put it on your website. If you need a website, contact Digits in Motion. They're a full-stack digital agency creating apps, custom websites for businesses. They do great work. Rob and his team, they're incredible. If you need any of that, contact all of us. Hit me up. I'll put you in touch with people. All right, now let's get into the conversation. Well, Sumhr, thank you so much for joining us. And just so people know why I kind of said that in a joking manner, it's Sumhr, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think that's a very beautiful way to spell your name, and
thank you.
It's a beautiful name. Speaking of beautiful, your products are gorgeous. Thank you so much for our gift.
You're welcome.
These ATL coasters, got to support the ATL.
That's right.
Very well made.
That's the first time they've seen daylight, so.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I am absolutely honored. I'm going to set them on our desk for sure, because everyone always needs coasters around here.
Exactly.
I'll see like rings of cups just everywhere around.
They drive
here.
You crazy.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. It's just because I own the space, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like I like nitpick everything, but meanwhile at my home, I'm not like that.
Really?
It's weird, right? It's only like here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell me a little bit about collection, what it is, what you do, how long you've been around. I know we were kind of just talking about it, but take me all the way back to 2005 and establish PollyAnn for me.
So in 2005, it's when I graduated college. I was only 12 when I graduated college, by the way. And
hold on, wait, we can't just breeze over that. You were 12 years.
I'm joking. I'm joking. It's an age joke.
Okay, about to say. Wow.
No, but I graduated in 2005, and naturally, when you graduate college, people start getting married and having babies, and so I was invited to a baby shower.
Okay.
And at the time, I wasn't a mother and didn't really understand how important a baby registry was, and so I said, when I go, I'm going to take the best damn gift that anybody ever saw at a baby shower. So I said, I want to make something custom with the baby's name on it. So I went to Hobby Lobby, didn't find much. I went to Michael's and found these unfinished wood scrapbooks. And then I saw the unfinished letters and I said, well, that's cool. I could paint those, finish that, and, you know, put it together and give it as a gift. And so I did that, and it completely blew the mom away. Everybody at the shower was like, where'd you get that? I want one. I'm going to a baby shower in a few weeks. So I said, okay, this is a good thing. So I started making them and selling those back in 2005. So I did that I moved to Atlanta in 2011. So I did that up until that time. And then after I got married and had my 2 kids back to back, I just kind of dropped everything because it was too much to do at once. And I picked it back up again in 2017.
Okay.
Rebranded everything, new website, and Instagram was, you know, full blown. So I took my talents to Instagram and started it there. And then a few months later, I was celebrating a friend's first anniversary of their business and said, well, I think it'd be cool to make her a sign with her name. What do you take someone on their first birthday, you know? And I said, well, maybe I can make her a sign, because I knew she wasn't really into the scrapbooking thing. And so I made a sign for her. And then from that moment on, it just skyrocketed. It's
just been all signs from now, right? So you don't do scrapbooks at all anymore?
I do not offer scrapbooks anymore, no.
Okay. So in 2005, I assume business for you, like the mindset, the execution, navigating business was vastly different than it is now.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Is it almost like a totally different business venture?
Definitely. Yeah. Scrapbooks are a unique market because you're talking to people who have the time to sit down and print off pictures, because who does that anymore, right? Yeah. Print pictures and decorate pages and showcase a scrapbook. People don't want that. People want plug and play. They want something easy, something quick, but still something custom that has their name or their business name or a family member's name on it that's special to them. And so I'm able to do that much faster and, you know, with a lot less work for both sides. So it's been a good transition. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that it's skyrocketing for you. I love your signs. I mean, they're like very well made, and they have, what I like about them is you're not just creating someone's like brand or logo and putting it on a sign and giving it to them. Like when you put their brand on your sign, I can still tell that it's yours, you know? And I think that's super important, especially for someone who's kind of in the design business like you are. You have to make sure you're protecting your brand a little bit too, or else it just looks like the next sign, right?
Exactly.
So why are you so focused on creating this one similar product? Like even back then you did just scrapbooks, and then now you got the signs that you're doing. Why not expand a little bit or change the look a little bit, offer different looks? What's the benefit of sticking to a very similar feel throughout all your products?
Well, exactly what you said. I want people, when they see my work, to know it's my work and know who the brand is that I'm doing it for, but also know that, oh, that's a PollyAnnCollection sign. I can't tell you how many people, and it's so rewarding, say, I see your signs everywhere. It's flooding my timeline. And that's the greatest compliment. It's like, wow, this is really happening. Yeah.
So you're selling on Etsy, right?
I have an Etsy shop. Yep. Okay.
And what else? Is it just Etsy?
That's it. That's it. Just on Etsy. So I have a website, but it's pretty much a landing page that redirects you to either social media or Etsy. But yeah, just Etsy for now. Gotcha.
So in 2005, obviously Etsy wasn't around. What was business like then? Just kind of word of mouth?
Word of mouth. I had the ugliest website you could dream of, with they had the long, like, I don't even know, the menu bar down the side of the page was hideous. I had big, poorly lit photographs on there. It was so bad. And a friend of mine that I worked with helped me put it together. And it's what websites were in 2005. I mean,
that's what I was going to say. I'm sure most websites were like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it fit right in, but I'm glad it's gone.
Well, isn't it crazy that from 2005 or even like 2011 when you moved here to now Etsy's a thing? You can just take a decent photo, upload it. It's all kind of laid out for you. Has it made business harder for you though, meaning that there's more competition on the same site that you're selling on? What is that? Is that make it more difficult, or you just kind of, how do you?
Well, in that respect, if I only sold on Etsy, if I didn't use Instagram as my main platform to grow and attract new customers and build community, then I would say it'd be difficult because you could type in wood sign and 100 people will pop up. But I think the unique thing about my business and what Atlanta has taught me is how important it is to have community and letting that kind of speak for itself and developing those relationships and sharing other businesses. And that's another unique opportunity that I have, is that I'm not just creating a sign for a business and then going on down the line. I generally have a relationship with these people, and I support their events, and they support me in the same way. So Etsy is a means to transact, but it's not driving the majority of my business.
Yeah, it's not the business, right?
Right.
Yeah. I like what you said, though. It's all about community, and the way to build that is you actually genuinely care about these people's business. Where does that come from in you? Like, why do you think you have that ability to really care?
I think that just comes from where you come from, right? Because if you're raised to appreciate people for who they are and what they give to the world, and value people's talents and their time and their treasure, then that's just the way that you think and you operate. And that's second nature to me. And my husband's the same way. So we love to support people who are doing great things. And in turn, they show you that same love.
Yeah. Speaking of your husband, so the reason we connected is because I saw the picture on your Instagram. It was you, your husband, your kids, and you were talking about, you talked to a customer who was just absolutely shocked to hear that you had a full-time job. Yeah. And in that full-time job, you travel 50% of the time, right? So you're traveling a lot. So obviously you're busy. I mean, even if you were just doing PollyAnnCollection and a mother, that alone is a lot of work to do. So you're doing PollyAnnCollection, you have kids, another on the way, and you also are working full time. Yep. And let's be real, every husband has to be taken care of. Like I would not be able to exist without my wife.
Yeah, I joke sometimes and say I already have 3 sons. Yeah. But
yeah. So how do you manage it all?
It's crazy, man. You just do it. And your mother would probably say the same thing. Like when the challenge is in front of you, you just find a way to get it done. You find a way to make sure that everyone is taken care of and that nothing falls through the cracks. And obviously we're human, things do fall through the cracks. But I would say the best thing that I do is I'm a list maker. I used to be a sticky note person when I was based in an office, and now I'm a list maker. And so every night before I go to bed, I pull up an iNote and I type in every single thing I have to do tomorrow. And what time does XYZ need to be done? So I'm diligent about doing that. My iCalendar, our iCalendar saves our lives. And our strategy is, because he travels a little bit too with his job, and our strategy is first come, first serve. If it's on the calendar already, if something's on the calendar already, then we try to not double book where we're both out of town at the same time. We're very fortunate that his parents live in Atlanta, and so they help us out a ton, and I don't know where we'd be without them. But we try to at least have one of us at home all the time. Yeah. But it's a challenge. It really is.
Well, that helps, for lack of a better term, manage like the kids, right? And daycare. Yeah. But what about, business? Like, you can't just hire a babysitter or have the in-laws come over to manage business, right?
Yeah, no, that's all on me. And so that means scheduling my day. And I don't talk about PollyAnnCollection at my real job because I work from home. So I don't want anyone thinking that I'm taking time to do that during the day, which sometimes I do. Yeah. but you'd be surprised how much more you can get done when you're not standing in an office all day. But so I definitely do. I split my days, and some mornings I'm doing all work, and some mornings I'm doing all PollyAnnCollection or all flip-flop. And then sometimes it's late nights. It's once the kids are in bed at 8 o'clock, I go out to the garage and I cut wood, or I'm painting while they're eating dinner, or, because we don't eat dinner together. I mean, we eat dinner together, but we really don't. Even if I'm not doing that, I'm standing up and we're running, like somebody needs something or something's on the floor.
I feel like you're looking through glass into like my kitchen and living room, because that's exactly how my wife and I are. She'll make something, or if I make something, which is rare, and I come home and we're just standing near our bar / island thing and just standing up eating while talking. And then she'll like be chewing food while throwing clothes in the laundry.
Exactly.
And all
I can't tell you the last time I've sat down and had dinner at home anyway. So it's just, it's constant movement. Everybody in my house is high energy. So it's just, finding the time. We put the kids to bed and my husband will be working on something. And some nights we're like, let's hang out with each other. And then some nights it's like, hey, I got to get this done. It's like, well, you're going to do that. I'm going to go out here and cut some more wood or paint or whatever. Yeah. So you just kind of get in where you fit in. But
so what when you said some nights, it's like, okay, let's just chill and hang out together.
Yeah.
How often does that happen, if you don't mind me asking?
No, that's fine. So on a weeknight, we're probably, because we're Netflix junkies, so we probably watch TV together at night 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there's 2 nights a week where he's working on something and I'm working on something we'll read down. Like last night I was in the garage and he was reading.
Yeah.
So, because he's a historian, so he reads a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, so you have those nights and then you have other nights when you're together.
Yeah.
So it's just a delicate balance of all that.
I think it is a delicate balance, and I think it's easily misunderstood with some days you just feel like chilling, and then other days you feel like working because maybe, you know, your husband can't chill with you. But really what it is discipline. Because some those nights, even when you're saying, all right, let's just watch Netflix, hang out together, spend some time together, you're intentionally making that decision to do so, right? And then on the other nights where you're choosing to go out after the kids are in bed and cut wood and sand and do what you do, that's an intentional, disciplined decision to make as well.
Yes.
So how important for you in your life and your structure is delegating, is discipline, is structuring and scheduling?
That's number one, because without it, it'd be chaos. You know, we've got to make the plan. We sit down on Sunday nights and say, okay, what do you have going on this week? Okay, that means I can do this on these days. You can do this on these days. The kids have to go here or there. Okay, your parents help these days. I mean, we have to start with the discipline and the scheduling.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would be in complete disarray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that you said that you sat down at night and write your list of what to do for the next day, because I've never been able to do that. Like I do that in the morning. I'll wake up in the morning, and then usually the first thing I've been doing as soon as I get here, I open my to-do book and I just write down what I know I need to do. I will like number things and then rearrange it for the day. So I'll spend 30 or so minutes doing that. But if I personally do that at night, my mind is going so much that I can't wind down.
Really?
Like I can't go to sleep at all. But all that to say, the list is what is the point there, right? Is actually just sitting down and doing it. You don't necessarily have to do what Sumhr does. You don't have to do what Randall does. Just figure out when it works for you, right?
Right.
And I think that's the most important thing, which then leads back to the discipline, which is just having the discipline to do it to begin with.
Exactly.
Because it's easy to let watching Netflix just take over your life.
Yeah. Absolutely. I do it because I cook most of the meals in the house too. So I do it with grocery shopping, and I got to figure out, okay, I'll drop the kids off, grab groceries on the way home. And you know, you add that into the list and figure everything out.
All right. I got to ask it. Do you sleep?
Yeah. I do sleep, especially now. I can't control it. I mean, I do mornings, right? I get the kids up, take them to school. My husband does nighttime, bath time story. And so usually by the time he comes back downstairs, some nights I'm gone. I'm already asleep and I don't wake up until the morning. But I probably get about 6 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 6 on average, like that's
on average.
Do you have like 2 days where you just sleep 10 hours, or is 6 every night for the most part?
When you've got 2 kids, you don't sleep 10 hours.
How old are your kids?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily playing like sports or anything yet.
Well, they
right?
do in the summertime, so not during the week, only on Saturday mornings in the summertime. Yeah. So
gotcha.
So we're pretty much at home, which is good.
You are a thoroughbred mompreneur. That's
I'm crazy.
For sure. That's for sure. Well, but I think a lot of people can. I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of people would look at you and everything you're doing and be like, there's no way I can do that, or no way I can even relate. If it's there's a male listening, obviously, you know, they aren't responsible for carrying the kids. So it's hard to even relate, but I always try to find like the little nuggets that anyone can take out. And I think like talking about the discipline is most important, but also I'm starting to find, because to be honest, I went through like a phase where I was just kind of lazy, wasn't like on top of my game. And I've been coming out of that here recently. And during that phase, my sleep was horrible. But now that I'm like actually jamming my days full of just stuff to do and my to-do list and making sure I check all that off, even though I get home with so much energy from the day, I'm like, all right, time to go to sleep. And then
Isn't that crazy how that works?
Yeah, isn't it? It's like the more you do, the more hectic that your life seems. For some reason, it's the productivity and the discipline that allows you to just relax at night, right? Yeah.
And that was my word going into 2019. Everyone kind of dropped resolutions this year and has a word. I've heard a lot of authenticity or being intentional. And my word was rest. It was literally coming into the year. in the spirit of rest and knowing what that means. That means being diligent and disciplined about making my schedule so that I can rest. Because last year, as things started to grow in my business, and I took on way too much because I was so excited and I wanted to do everything and be everywhere. And I think a lot of times as women and as moms, we feel like it's our job to do everything and be everywhere. So I had to be at every doctor's appointment. I had to be at every school meeting. And then it's like, well, my husband can do that. You know, my mother-in-law can take them to the doctor. I don't have to do that. And not as an excuse to get away from it, but it's just so I could manage everything else. I had to make some choices some days and say, I don't have to be here. I don't have to be at this event. Or, you know, I took on a ton of orders at the end of the year and I was so burnt out. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I have to rest because I was what I call my kids when they're in bad moods, grumpy bears. And they're like, Mommy's grumpy today. And I got so sick of hearing that. And I said, I got to listen to them because Mommy's grumpy because Mommy's not sleeping. Mommy's not taking care of herself. So I had to make the choice, well, maybe this year I'll take a few less orders than I would have last year, but I'm going to be more rested. Everyone's going to be taken care of better. I'm going to be taken care of better. And it'll just be a happier environment for everyone around. So,
but that's interesting because I feel like most entrepreneurs, especially if they're building a fairly new business, which yours isn't necessarily new, but you kind of restarted, right? They would never say that. Never say, oh, I'm going to take less orders because I just feel like it's the right thing to do. What gives you the comfort level to be able to do that?
I guess I could say it's more of a selfish decision because I saw the impact that it was having on my attitude and how I would respond to my kids and how to respond to my husband. I wasn't the person people wanted to be around, you know? And that was more important to me, is being who they expected me to be, being, you know, an even keel mom and not a temperamental mom. That's what was really important to me. And that they're my kids. I mean, these are their memories of their mom. And so that was very important to me, to say, okay, it's time to slow down. Even though it's very new, it's time to slow down and remember what's important. And it's not how many orders can I get? It's, okay, are you okay? 1, are you taking care of home? 2, and then, okay, then we can focus on the business. 3. So
do you feel like kind of a byproduct of doing that or making that decision is keeping a higher quality towards the orders that you do send out? That
definitely helps too. Okay. So I'm not rushing, right? I'm not rushing. I'm taking the time with each order. And I don't think my quality suffered at all when I was in that zone, but my home did, right? Yeah. We were eating out more. Not that eating out is bad, but I prefer to cook for them. So we're eating out more and I wasn't spending as much time with them. But I think my product quality stayed the same, but I feel even better about it this year, this year than I did last year, because I know what I'm doing and I'm spending more time talking to my customers more and interacting and engaging with them more in person and online because I have the time to do it now. Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like as entrepreneurs, it's easy for us to get obsessive about, certain things. And me personally, I was in a spot to where it was hard to look at the micro wins, and those started becoming micro fails, which then eventually built up to the point to where it was affecting the one major thing that I was obsessive over, which was probably the core of our revenue. So it's not a bad thing to obsess over it, but I hate seeing someone forget about it's the small wins, like not eating out, choosing to eat at home healthier, or actually writing down your to-do list. The last 2 weeks, I've made it a purpose to write down what is my purpose, and I write it down every single day. And some days it's literally verbatim, word for word as the day before, and then other days I'm like, I want to adjust it a little bit and just find what feels right for this. But the overall scope of it is relatively the same, right? Yeah. And I've found that writing down my purpose every day has really kind of subconsciously just set boundaries around every one of my decisions, and good boundaries in the way that if it doesn't map back to my purpose, then I'm not involved. I'm not doing it. That's huge. And then I see I've been out of the gym for so long, it's embarrassing. So out of shape. Don't feel bad. So out of shape. But I was so into working out, and I told her, I'm going to start
I'm driving to the gym. I was like, I don't care if I walk in and just go to the bathroom and then walk back out. I'm going to drive. I'm going to go in, and what if I'm there 5 seconds and walk back? I'm just going to start doing that just so I'm going, so I'm like changing the repetitions and changing the habits. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that in relationship to your story, but I really, man, I look up to you. I really do. Cause it's like, it's the work ethic and the discipline and the ability to just keep your head on straight in the midst of everything that you have going on is insane. What do you ever feel like PollyAnnCollection will be the full-time thing, or is that the goal? Or you seem fairly happy with your full-time job and what you're doing there?
I would love it if PollyAnnCollection could be full-time. Yeah. So I need customers to help me get there. Yeah. Now is not the time, I don't think. And, lots of growing, and I would have to hire people and actually get out of my garage, but that would be like a dream come true if PollyAnnCollection could be full-time. Yeah.
So do you find that your full-time day job, though, is a good job that supports your adventures in PollyAnn?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've been with my company for 14 years. They've supported me through moves and family changes. It's been an amazing company to work for. Yeah. So there would be some tears shed if I ever made the decision to leave, just because they've been so great. But this adventure is great too, and it's mine.
But you own it, right?
Exactly.
You're putting in all the work, and you actually own it. So, I feel like most entrepreneurs who are working in their day job while building their side business, even if they don't begin to resent their job, or meaning when they start their side business, if they don't already resent their day job, over time, they're going to want, as soon as they start making money off of their side hustle, they're going to want to make that their full-time job, which instantly makes you resent your day job, right? It seems like you don't resent your day job at all, because it does kind of put you in a position to put more effort into PollyAnnCollection. Yeah,
I wouldn't say resent, but there was a period last year when things were going so well that I put PollyAnnCollection first in terms of how I split my work time instead of my real job. And my husband graciously reminded me that, hey, that job helps pay our bills. And so you need to shift your focus a little bit. Yeah. And those are not words that I wanted to hear, but it was real. It's the truth. And
so I needed to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's when I decided that I had to get a better schedule in place for 2019. At that point, it's like, okay, you're right. I'm not budgeting my time well between the two. So what can I do? How can I plan better and prep better so that I don't have to do it this way? So it just got my wheels turning in terms of how can I make this all work a little bit easier.
And is it all just you then? You don't have like a part-time employee or anything like that?
Just me.
Just you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. How many signs are you making? Say an average week, I guess.
I average about 3.5 a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a decent amount per month.
It is. And so last year I was accepting like 6 orders a week, which was completely insane and just too much for one person to do. Or I didn't have the systems in place either. I was just kind of going. And so when my order board filled up in November for the rest of the year, I had the time then to not be worrying about accepting new and just working on what I had. I had the time to really focus on developing my systems and my strategy and my timeline. So I came into 2019 and it's on my calendar right now. This Monday is for this. Tuesday is dedicated to this. Wednesday is for this. Thursdays for that, Friday ship day, Saturday, Sunday, nothing. Yeah. And I'm fully dedicated to my family. I don't answer any inquiries. I'll respond and say, hey, I'll get back to you on Monday. But other than that, I'm not quoting anybody. I'm not doing any of that on the weekends because that's the time that I need to give to them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Family first.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah. I always say, and I've been saying this like every episode, Ray, sorry. The whole like, don't waste your sacrifices thing, because it's like, people sacrifice so much time away from their families, traveling or just even staying at the office late because things aren't going well. And, when things really don't go well, that's when you need to think about all the time that you have sacrificed away from family or the relationships that may have been ruined because you were too much an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. People just don't relate, right? So all these things that you sacrifice when things really don't start going well is when you need to remember everything you have sacrificed and work harder. Like put your head down and just get it done and figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't waste your sacrifices, people.
I like that.
That's what I always say. So most entrepreneurs too, I really like your story because it's like I don't know if you know you're doing this, but you're like navigating most of the problems that new entrepreneurs face very well. Because most entrepreneurs, if they do have a product that it just hits and it's like flying off the shelves, they want to scale too quickly. And then eventually quality begins to diminish, or they're too tired and other things start affecting them, like, you know, personal relationships. But we all know if the personal life isn't in check, your business is not in check either.
Exactly.
Like it just can't be. So, you know, people try to scale too fast and then they just completely fail at that. And you've kind of realized like, this is not sustainable. Does it just come natural to you?
No.
Or like, do you read or listen to podcasts or listen to books or?
I do. So I listen to Jenna Kutcher's Gold Digger podcast, Rachel Hollis's
It's so
Rise
funny.
podcast.
You're naming everyone that my wife listens to.
Really?
Yeah.
I love your wife. And I'm sure you've heard Jenna's podcast, and I try to learn from the mistakes of others before committing the same. And some things you just can't help but do as you learn and grow. But those two podcasts, and I couldn't tell you the last couple of books I read because I don't have time to sit down and read anything. But actually, I did read Love What You Do by Dana Spinola, the owner of Fabric Boutiques in Atlanta. I did read that book over the holiday season, and it was great. And it talked about your passion and your purpose. But she did the same thing. I mean, she started a boutique down on, was it West Peachtree? And I remember going there for my bachelorette, like shopping experience. So I knew exactly, like reading the story, I could see exactly what she was talking about. I think that location's closed now, but she talked about just how quickly things got out of control, and she had a team. And I mean, I guess at that point she'd been in business almost, I can't remember, maybe at least 5 years, maybe 10 years. And then, but she was not who she was. And her team came to her and said, "Hey, do you need a break? Like you are so not who you used to be. Do you need time?" And she said, "Thank you so much for asking. I'm out of here." And she took a sabbatical for several months. And she said she came back and she's never been the same. But she had gotten so ingrained in the details of the business. She wasn't present at home and wasn't the best mom with her kids. And she just needed that time to get herself together. So again, learning from the mistakes of others so that I don't commit the same things, and being reassured. And that's what Jenna talks about all the time, is that you are enough and you can only be who you are. And if people don't love it, then you have to stay true to you. Otherwise, you can't sleep at night. That's the message that I get. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what I get from her. And it's like, that's true. If I can't sleep at night, if I can't look myself in the mirror, if I can't look my customer in the face and say, "I'm really proud of the work that I've given you," what am I doing it for?
What's the point? Yeah, right. No, that's powerful. And I think just hearing you talk, you know, it's like figuring out what works for you. Like you don't want to make the same mistakes as others. So you're listening and taking in information and data to try to prevent that, but can still happen, right? Yeah. And even like back to what we were talking about with the to-do list, I do mine in the morning, you do yours at night. Work life, there is no algorithm or formula for work-life balance.
What is balance?
Right? Yeah, exactly. And that balance is going to change constantly. I mean, especially with kids, your kids get older, things have to shift. But what does work-life balance first mean to you? Because I mean, it's obviously got to be super important. You have kids, husband, home. Like, what does it mean to you, and how do you make sure that it's in check?
It means being present, and just being physically present isn't enough. So I'm on the road enough to where when I'm home, I want to be rolling around on the floor with my kids and building Legos, and I don't know what the guys are like Transformers. You know, I want to be doing those things with them. I want to be helping them with their homework. And that's balance to me, is making sure that they're not saying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," and I'm in my phone, which I'm guilty of. Please don't, you know, I'm in my phone sometimes. They're like, "Mommy," 10 times. And I say, "Okay, let me put my phone down and go do something with them." And that's all they need sometimes is just, Mommy, watch me shoot this basketball. Like, and you look at it one time, good job. And then that's all they need. Yeah. So for me, it's being present and sometimes I have to be on the road. Like last week, I was gone from Sunday to Thursday. And so I couldn't do anything for PollyAnnCollection while I'm on the road. And so when I got home Thursday night, I'm all theirs until Monday. I'll pick everything back up on Monday because it'll still be there. So it's just noticing when you have to be gone. I think if I were at home every day, my balance would look a little bit different. But the fact that I have to be gone overnight and I can't see my family every day changes my priorities a little bit.
Yeah, as it should, right? Yeah. But it's not like a true 50-50.
Oh, no.
Right? There's no, like I said, there's no...
No. And in marriage, there's no true 50-50, right? And sometimes you give more and sometimes she gives more and then it balances out eventually. Hopefully no one is giving more, than the other all the time. But you figure it out. You know what people need and you give them what they need and then they give you what you need, hopefully. And then it kind of works that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So why is building the community around PollyAnnCollection as a brand? Well, like, I feel like, creating the Etsy shop and doing the wood pieces is something that you could put out there and people would love it. And it has kind of your touch to it and people eat it up. Like they want more and more of it. And you could be okay with just that. Right. So, but you make a purpose to say, all right, I really care about the people I'm selling to and their business. I want them to do well. What's the benefit of focusing on that? I mean, I think it's a given, but I want to hear like you, like why do you think that's important?
Well, people invite me into their lives for a lot of different reasons. Me being PollyAnnCollection, not necessarily, but they're starting a new business, which is huge. They're celebrating a new child in their lives. They're celebrating a wedding or they're giving a gift to someone. And those are very special moments. And I don't take that lightly. And I know that whatever gift they're ordering for me means something to them and to the person who's going to receive it. And so I take a lot of time and care to show them that when I celebrate them, that I love what they're doing and love how they're working. And they, in turn, are basically my marketing team. I mean, if you have a great experience, if you go somewhere and have a great dining experience, you're going to talk about it. You're going to maybe post a review, but you're going to tell anyone who comes to town, oh, where should I go eat? You're going to say, oh man, I had a great time at such and such restaurant. You should go there. And it's the same thing. The people who I've been fortunate enough to work with have done nothing but promote my product without me even asking. They promote my product and they talk about they've had a great customer experience and you should order yours. And I don't even ask for that and they do it. And it's like, wow,
that's awesome.
That's special and it's unique and I don't take it for granted. So however I can help and support them, I do it in return.
Yeah, it's like the best form of marketing is creating a shareable experience, right? Because then your end consumer is the one that is your marketing team. But none of that would be possible if you didn't understand your end consumer. And I think that's important because most people try to figure out business, like just all the business logistics, or they listen to so many podcasts because they don't want to make mistakes and all that stuff. But really where the heart of the business comes in is understanding your end consumer. And you understand that it's a special moment. That's the reason that they're connecting with you is because they need a sign for something special. And that's huge. And I don't know. I feel like that gets lost. I mean, not at the fault of the entrepreneurs, but it's tough, like doing a business and people think that there's just like, if I just make all these right steps, let me just do this. But really it's leaning into the customers, right? That is the ultimate thing.
It's a soft skill part. I mean, I work in sales and operations every day. And so you can show someone how to make a sale and how to use the CRM tool and how to do these things. But if they don't have the relationship with the customer, then you're just like any other guy that stops by and tries to sell them what you're selling. You know, if they have a relationship with you and they know you take care of them and you'll answer the phone late at night, you know, a service call, whatever it is, they're going to call you first and not just the random guy that comes by. So it's important to have the relationship and build the trust with your customers. Even if you only do business with them one time and they have that great experience, then if they ever need you, if they're ever thinking about anything, they'll call you again. Yeah. So that's very important.
Yeah. So what's next for PollyAnnCollection? Are you sticking to the woodworking and the wood designs? Introducing any new products? I mean, I know you said these are fairly new.
Yeah. So the coasters, the ATL coasters, which sort of emulate my signs a little bit. They're the bubble letter design, and then they have inserts instead of letters on top. Okay. So obviously you can set drinks on top of them. Yep. But so those will be coming out probably in the fall, ready for holiday season. And then I'm introducing a holiday bundle package this fall. So it's instead of just a one-off sign, it's almost like a subscription where you'd order 1, 2, or 3 holiday signs, Halloween, like Thanksgiving, fall, or Christmassy. And then you would just get a special box in the mail once a month for all the holidays. So that part's coming. I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome. Now, did you come up with that idea because subscription-based things are becoming such a hot thing to do, or is you just saw a need for...
I just love holiday decor. And you know how quickly the holidays come. As an adult, it seems like they come and go so quickly. Yep. And so I thought, well, what better way to have a quick plug and play switch out option to have a sign, and you can build a few things around it, or throw it on your front door, up on the wall next to your tree, and then pack it away with all your holiday stuff at the end of the year. I just thought it'd be an easy, neat way to decorate for the holidays. So.
Yeah, because it alleviates the stress of shopping and like being in the store and figuring out, does this go with this? Or
have you been to Hobby Lobby in like August?
Yeah, unfortunately I have.
It's full blown Christmas. So, you know, holidays are coming and going so fast. And I love to decorate for the holidays, especially with the kids around and family coming over. It's just fun to have that non-basic store, that custom holiday feel in your home. So I'm excited about that.
So only on Etsy now, right? Or do you have any plans on like trying to get this stuff in local merchants around here and brick and mortars?
Well, I do sell at Crafted Westside.
Okay.
All my ATL signs are there.
Okay.
Yeah. So Crafted's been amazing. I'm in their Buckhead store, Perimeter store, and have gotten great responses there. Okay. So thank you to anyone who's bought an ATL sign from Crafted.
That's awesome. So hopefully these will be there soon too.
Mm-hmm.
And then are you reaching out to other stores or anything?
Not at the moment.
I'm like firing so many questions at you.
No, rapid fire. I can handle it. No, not at the moment. I think that in order to do more, I definitely need to have some help around.
Gotcha.
So
because then you're going from 3 signs a week to 6+ again, right?
Exactly. Gotcha. And building up store inventory is a lot of work too. So
well, this has been great. We've been talking for about 45 minutes. Which most of my episodes go longer, but I feel like we covered so much, and you got like very good sound bites.
Cool.
What else would you give to the young mompreneur that was you, like when you first got married and had your kids and knew that you still wanted to do business and do PollyAnnCollection? Like, what would you tell yourself in that moment when you decided to kind of rebrand and revamp in today's market?
I would say to my old self, one, it's okay to take the time you need to adjust to where your life is. So you can still have a dream and a vision and not necessarily implement it right away. And you're not losing, especially now with Instagram and everything being so curated and so beautiful. You always feel like you're a little bit behind and you got to do a little bit more and you got to do it now. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think that if you're starting a family, take the time to start your family. But while you're starting your family and the kids are asleep, listen to a podcast. While you're driving around grocery shopping, put your AirPods in and listen to a podcast. Like, continue to learn, educate yourself, read what you can, watch what you can. I watch so many YouTube videos. It's insane. So don't give up on it. And just because you're not actively pursuing the business side of it doesn't mean you can't still be educating yourself. And then when you feel like you're ready and when you feel like you have the support you need and the time you need to do it, do it. Just go for it. Don't let having a kid hanging on your ankle stop you. Like when they're taking a nap, some days you need to take a nap too, but other days, like do the work and start building your Instagram and, you know, take some e-courses. There's so many options out there that you don't have to spend a ton of money to learn a lot. So I would just say go for it, or call me and we can talk more about it.
There's really no excuses, right?
No, there aren't. And I think that it's so easy to say, well, I'll do it next year. And if you really have a plan in place that says next year is the best time, then wait till next year. But if you're just saying it because you don't feel like you can do it, then that's not okay. Yeah. You have to do it. And you're going to fall. You're going to make mistakes. But you learn from those and you grow from those, and you may make them a second time. Right? It's not an easy path, and it's not perfect every single time you try something. And that's okay, but you learn from it and you grow. And when you build those relationships, people support you and carry you when you don't feel like you can do it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's powerful, because it's one of those things where you really do have to start doing, like, as much as you learn or watch YouTube video. I'm the same way. Like I'm constantly, I can't get out of bed and brush my teeth without pulling up like a YouTube video of some like podcast or business vlog or something. Yeah. So I'm constantly like educating and learning and stuff like that. But eventually you have to just do. And if you don't, then I don't think it's talked about that much of how much that affects like just your energy level. Like kind of what we were talking about earlier, the more people do, the more energy that you have, and also the more the more effective and the higher quality your rest is, the more you're doing. Far too often I've seen people, especially in our industry, that are just burnt out and tired. But when you really evaluate them, they're burnt out from not doing enough. It's just weird what it does to your mind. And that's what it is. It's not a physical thing or anything like that. I think it's all mental thing. When your mind, when you are disciplined and you schedule and you plan things and you just start doing, your mind is like, okay, now your mind's being used as a tool for your own happiness and success. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Versus if you're just kind of letting your thoughts come in and out and go about the day, your mind, honestly, is it really in your corner if you're not intentionally putting it in your corner, if that makes sense. Right. So, right. It's just like when you start working out, right? Yeah. Let's say 90% of the battle is actually physically getting there. You start training your body to get up and go or work these muscles, and all of a sudden your body can do things you didn't know it can do. Yep. And your entrepreneurship is the same way. Yeah. You push yourself, you do it, and you're like, whoa, I can do this. And then you find the time and you find the way and you find the strategy, and then it all comes together. Yep. Awesome. Well, I think that's a great note to end on. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having me. It's been a really good conversation. This has been fun. Yeah. I really love your products and obviously just the person behind it. I think you're an incredible soul. And I would implore anyone listening to, if you don't mind, to like DM you or something if they have questions. Yeah, absolutely. Your business is so relatable to people who are starting new businesses, because it's an Etsy thing. They're doing it out of the garage. And I think there's just so many small businesses that are doing that same exact style. I'm not necessarily saying that it's a watered down market or anything. Everyone has their own touch to it. Yeah. I got a guy that's doing like custom wood grain pins. Went to high school with him, and he has a machine and he's wrapping these pins in wood and like putting logos on it and stuff, and all on Etsy. So I think your business model and how you are executing on it is so relatable to new entrepreneurs. So I really appreciate the input. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Thank you guys once again so much for listening or watching our podcast. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy these episodes, please do us a huge favor. Subscribe, first of all, wherever you're listening on or however you're watching. But do us an even bigger favor and be sure to leave a comment and review the podcast. This just gives us so much credibility in the eyes of sponsors, so that way we can sustain this and keep this going, because we're absolutely loving it. We hope it's providing great value for you. And one of the other ways that we want to provide some value for you is through video production. So RCR Video, company Ray and I own, we want to just sit down with you guys and figure out how you can implement video into your company. That doesn't necessarily mean writing a check to us at the end of that day. We can have a conversation and
figure out ways that you can use just your own cell phone to implement effective video into your marketing strategy. We just want to help you grow your business through video production, and we know that we can help you do that. All right. Once again, thank you for listening, and have a blessed day.